We're talking with Paul Harding with Martin Hardy and Mazzotti. We appreciate his insight. And so, Paul, this week we've been talking about the Burlington City Council. They, this week, made a decision to take down a piece of artwork based on some public pressure. I would not say from a majority of the public, but regardless, it's art. And art, to me, is an expression of our First Amendment. There hasn't been a lot of legal challenges that I'm aware of in regard to art and how art is perceived or whether or not it should be viewed by the public and so forth.
Yeah, so that is, we're reading about that and looking at that, and I guess this thing is, I've seen it. I always stop when you walk near it. It's hard not to, right? There's a lot happening there. And now the question is, it's coming down early. It was going to come down at some point in the next 18 months or something. Yeah, so we've got to, we look at this and we say from a First Amendment perspective, we can do all this stuff. The question is as it is displayed and, we've gotten some degree of pushback, that sort of this thing doesn't necessarily depict the Burlington of 2020, the sort of lack of diversity in the picture and some of the things that maybe some folks feel, are offensive. So the neat part about this is that, again, we live in this country where we're able to have opinions and we're able to say, we like it, we don't like it, and we get to share that. And I mean, it really goes to the fabric of why we call ourselves this sort of this nation of these people who get to run their own country, although there's a lot of debate around that, as we enter into, we talk about this pandemic, which is limited rights. But so the council has decided to take it down. We voted those folks in, and if we don't like their decision, we can always vote them out. So at this point, it looks like it's coming down, and they say they're going to put it up someplace else. Not sure where. I don't know if any of you guys have a big backyard or something you want to volunteer to have that. It would be nice. You got to check with your neighbors, though.
Won't fit in my backyard. I know that. But also, we had a number of our listeners who contacted us and said they wanted to even consider starting a legal defense fund, kind of save the mural type thing. What kind of rights are there in regard to that, without knowing all the details of this case?
Yeah. So they could absolutely do that. Public pressure is one thing. Public pressure appears to be what's having this thing removed early, and public pressure could be what could get it get this action stayed, but through the courts. The courts come in and say we're going to, again, through a First Amendment argument, freedom of speech, through, I don't know what the contract was, if the artist had a contract through a certain amount of time, so is there a contract being violated here? But yeah, sure, they could get it, try to push that through, and at least get an injunction, which is a formal sort of legal way of saying, okay, guys, let's stop doing. Let's start thinking and talking, but we're not going to do anything right now. And really, probably, if they were to get that, it probably extends until the time when this thing was going to be taken down anyway.
This is being done at a time where we're looking at still being in the midst of the pandemic and the repercussions of that pandemic. One part of us is saying this is not the priority. The priority is other things that we need to deal with in regards to this pandemic, like opening up these retailers and getting them opened up safely. Wisconsin has already gotten it through their Supreme Court. There are challenges now happening, and I think that's because of pent-up frustration that governors don't have the power to do what they've been doing to try to protect public health.
Yeah, if you want to see that frustration, just go get gas or just walk into CVS, right? Just walk around and you can feel it. Someone has their mask on, someone doesn't. They're exchanging words. There's tension. So the question is, have these governors just gone a little too far, or have they pushed it beyond what their authority is? We saw in Wisconsin this week, the Supreme Court there said, yeah, Governor, you can't issue this shelter-in-place order. It's in violation of the Constitution, so that state's sort of up in the air. What are they doing? We know that the public health authority that the governor has to keep us safe, but has it gone too far, right? So those are the debates going on. So I think we're frustrated anyway that we feel kind of being told what to do, and we're just not used to that in this country. We're used to, having rules, of course, but really just having so much freedom. So when we're told you can't drive here, you can't walk in here unless you got this, and you got to have this temperature tested, and all the things that are coming.
Right.
I think there's a general sense of pushback. I mean, I can kind of almost feel it myself. I get how important it is, but the fact that someone's telling I'm still 12 years old. The fact that someone's telling me what to do, I can see myself just kind of feeling it a little bit, little pushback. And so here, I think there's with this mural, and it comes full circle. I think it's something that people say, wait, this is the stuff this is the gift we do have. We have the ability to just because they're telling us it's coming down, maybe we can do something to stop it. And so it brings back some of those fundamental rights that we are blessed to have here, in our country, and certainly Vermont. Vermonters they're at the forefront of that.
So with the powers that governors have, as we've had some of it questioned, with the powers that they use under emergency powers when they declare a state of emergency, it's probably not a slam dunk, is it, by the courts? I think it was a split decision in Wisconsin, though the majority voted that way, because people think they don't have the power to do it. It's against the Constitution. But they do have some. It's probably not a slam dunk as to what their emergency powers are able to do.
We all expect, there's a flood coming and a tornado, and there's some, we're being attacked. And, we always look at it under those emergency powers. Like, we don't have time to get any legislation going. We elected someone to just say, now we're going to do this. Or we need a leader. You need a captain on the team, someone who and the question is it's just going on too long, is what everybody's feeling. It's like, okay, I get it. Feels like the emergency part of emergency is not there, meaning we have time where we could have conversations and legislatures can meet and pass laws. Governor, time for you to kind of step aside maybe and which again, that's the feeling. That's the feeling I think that's out there.
Yeah.
The people feel their elected representatives are not really pushing the agenda. It's their elected person, their governor, who is well liked and good intentions, but is it going too far? That's a conversation. If you could ever get to a coffee shop and you want to start, it would be spirited.
We appreciate the insight of Paul Harding of Harding, Martin, and Mazzotti. You can get more information, ask questions of them. They are your resource at 1-800-LAW1010.com.